Hey guys, this is John from Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Saturday, May 11th, 2024. I got a few things I want to show you. I'm reshooting this because the video I shot yesterday, well, still today, in the afternoon, came out all blurry. So this is some of my work from once upon a time. I hope that's, I need to check and make sure I'm not getting a bunch of reflections on there. That's Ash and Desi. Some more Ashley Fox. Here are some characters from the novels. The Legend of Ashley Fox. Those are the bad guys. That is the Lodge of Conquerors. Those are a bunch of serial killers who get together and hang out and trade secrets and whatnot. So they're bad guys. My neighbors are having a party tonight. You guys might be able to hear them in the background. That's okay. Neighbors are good. Here's a couple in color. I think these two may make their way into the comic book. That one's not bad. I only got a couple more here I want to show you guys. Now none of these are great. I'm showing you to show you that this is pretty much my level of it's about where I'm at, right? Where I was at back then, when I was drawing way more often. That is an old portfolio because I was working on a pine tree last night, and it's not really video worthy yet. And this afternoon I didn't get to it. This afternoon I worked out and then I went skating. I worked out, I shot a video, it was completely out of focus. And I went skating, I came back, and it was done rendering, and it was just so bad, I couldn't use it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put a pause in right here. The next things I have to show you guys is one of my favorite, I call this comic book. Some people say manga and anime, or manga is different than comics, but this is a comic book. You find it at a comic book store. You're not going to go get this anywhere else, maybe eBay. This is Gray, Digital Target. This is a Japanese version of Terminator. Terminator, James Cameron's wasn't original anyhow. He stole that from this other Twilight Zone writer named Harlan Ellison. Harlan sued him and got paid. So this is a Japanese version of that same story. I think it was called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Is the original name of that. This is Gray. They have a cartoon of this, Gray Digital Target. And it is great. The way they do smoke is so awesome. I have one of these that is opened, and I'm going to open it again and pull it out of here and show it off to you guys. I love the way he does smoke. I love the way he does shading. I love the way he does hard light. It's so good. Is this the first one? Oh, it's over there. Here's the first one. This is the one I'm going to open. Actually, when I started skating, I got a red baseball helmet and put a pair of lips stickers on it to wear, just, to be careful, because I was new at this. I was out skating at night. I really didn't know what I was doing. So I want to show you guys the inside of this. I'll continue with that story in just a minute. The panels are just so powerful. I love this so much. Man, it's so good. It's just brilliant. Let me see if I can put it here. You guys may see a big cut in this. Really, this is just a superior comic. I really love this one. It's great. You can't go wrong. The cartoon, I think it's on free on YouTube to watch, like right now. It's really good. The way smoke and everything happens in there is just the way they animate smoke is just brilliant. And when it comes to helmets and skateboarding, this is an interesting thing. The helmet really doesn't help you. When you go down, you hit your hand, you hit your elbow, you hit your hip, you hit your knee, you step off the skateboard and one foot's on the skateboard and you do the splits and rip your hips apart. You twist your legs, your body goes this way and your legs go that way. So there's a lot of ways to get hurt skating that have nothing to do with hitting your head. I've never hit my head going down skating. But I'm not doing the worst of the worst jumps yet either. I'm not doing 360s or 180s and landing going backwards, so I roll backwards. Those guys, some of those guys have gotten really hurt bad. These are all doubles. These are all covers that you see. And I don't know how many I have, that number one. Is that one in the stack? I don't know. I love this book. So this is just a little bit of what I got to show. And there is some specific things I want to talk about too. So Wildwood Tarot, obviously I'm not going to show you that today, but this is a gift for a friend of mine. This is still in plastic. And this is the one that's going to stay out here. This is Hunter S. Thompson. I'm going to save this to talk about it next time. And this is Shadow Warriors, Hattori Hanzo. I'm going to save this, talk about this next time too. Ninjas and Hunter S. Thompson we can talk about later. I don't want to get this too long. I noticed the last cut was very long and it started to fall out of sync at the end. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. What I want to talk about is the idea that work sets you free. I think Jocko Willink said that. Jocko said, discipline will get you anything you want. And that's very true. And this, again, comes back to being or doing. Gratitude. A lot of this these videos are really, why am I doing this? This is me figuring out what I'm doing. What am I doing here? Why am I doing this? Am I talking to anyone? Is this promotion for something I'm not selling yet? Am I promoting my novels, which I never seem to talk about? I'm super proud of them, but I never seem to talk about them. What I am promoting is a mindset, the Alpha Channel mindset. And that mindset says invest in learning new skills. Don't invest in cryptocurrency. Invest in learning how to trade cryptocurrency, but spend your time and your energy. In Aikido, they called it polishing your stone. At least this one Aikido school that I went to, that was what they called it. Find your center. Live your best life is what the manifesting people would call it. But it's all comes down to the same thing. Are you happy? Being wealthy does not necessarily make you happy, so chasing money isn't necessarily the way. What good is money if the way you get it makes you miserable? It's not how much money you have, it's how you get it. Alex Hormozy, I talked about this in the last one, I want to talk about it again here. Alex Hormozy, I'm going to mention him a lot. I'm really impressed with that kid. He went to the gym and just dedicated himself to getting huge. I don't know if he did HGH or steroids or anything like that. He says you have to eat 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight. I was under the impression for a long time that anything after about 30 grams of protein in a sitting would be wasted and that you needed to consume that after a workout. He's saying 2 pounds of meat a day is what 1 gram of protein per body weight equals. And that'll get you what you want. I'm not, 260 pounds. I think he's like 220. But it's still, that's an interesting philosophy. And that's not why I want to bring him up. What I want to bring him up for, he made a bunch of money selling gym memberships. And then once he got the money, he discovered that solving your money problems leaves you with problems that money can't solve. And so what he's going through now is a process of looking for, or I don't know what he's going through. He's doing what he's doing, right? But that's true. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to solve the problems that money won't solve before I get there. I'm trying to refine a lot of those. And I've had money before, and I'll have money again. And I don't think I'm doing this to get money. I'm doing this because this is how I want this, because how you make money is more important. What doth it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? This is the way I keep my soul. This is, they have this thing, clout chasing on YouTube, where people brag or whatever. This is spiritual clout chasing. Doing this, doing comics is like doing music. if you love doing it, the audience will see that. If you love making music, the audience will see that. And you don't have to focus on the negative. The negative to art, the opposite of art, is criticism, critique. No one needs a critic. I mean, yeah, you can use constructive criticism, and even negative criticism is positive. Even negative criticism has its value if there's something to be gained from it. If there's bullies bully early and often, so there's something to be learn from your bullies. Take what they say to you and make yourself unassailable. Become anti-fragile. So criticism. I have a great book I want to recommend, and I have a couple movie quotes for today. And I forgot the first one in the last video, so I'm going to say it now. Comes from the film. It's a David Mamet film called Spartan, starring Val Kilmer in one of his best roles outside of Top Gun, and I don't know what else he's done off the top of my head. But in Spartan, Val Kilmer is a training officer at a Green Beret Special Forces camp. And he says to a young soldier, "You've trained all your life for this moment. Why aren't you ready?" And that's every day. Make your last stand every day. Do your workout every day. Money can't buy you 5 reps. Money can't buy you 15 reps when you're done at 10. Will, persistence, determination, those are all things. Money is a cheat. In the art world, money is a cheat. In the art world, a rich person gets an idea and hires 60 artists to try and go execute it, and no one ends up happy. Everyone ends up miserable. So my book recommendation for today is The Culture of Critique by Dr. Kevin MacDonald. This is a brilliant look at the problems with our society today. I was talking the other day about pillars. Pillars of society, pillars in your mind, necessity and convenience were a pair that I saw. It was a sort of a lens that I viewed the world through for a long time. Power versus force, love and hate, right and wrong, binary sort of pillars. Right now I'm using gratitude and forgiveness, but this world runs on envy and spite. You look around you. Those are the people who are in charge. Envious and spiteful people who've never accomplished anything for themselves. They don't know what it means to rule from a place of abundance and prosperity. They're using gold to pay all their debts, not wisdom or honor or courage. There's no teamwork in society today, and that's why the social contract's broken. So criticism. This is for you critics, Dr. Kevin MacDonald. Critics are the opposite of artists. If you're a great artist, you don't have to criticize other artists. And everyone should be doing their own art. If you're doing your own art, you don't have to criticize other people. You don't have to judge. You don't have to hate. Me doing art elevates me out of the fight. This is where they say politics is downstream from culture, and culture is downstream from art. Okay? So downstream means if you're angry, it has nothing to do with me. I'm operating on such a higher level. This is another thing I mentioned earlier, and I'm glad I remembered it right now. The barrier to entry in life, in all these things that I'm working on, the barrier to entry is the most important part. The barrier to entry is everything. The barrier to entry in art and in skating. I want to put Conan on a skateboard. That's the comic book that I'm doing. And so the barrier to entry in martial arts, in skating, in drawing, in music, is competency. You can't just show up and say, yeah, even though I'm a half an hour late, give me a seat, let me in. I deserve to be here. You don't. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is competency. The barrier to entry is everything. The obstacle is the way. So critics, you people who don't participate in sports but talk about it, you're not the man in the arena in any sense of you shouldn't even have an opinion. Just keep it to yourself. You shouldn't be trying to make art. You shouldn't be making propaganda. You shouldn't be making films. You shouldn't be making TV shows. I know you think you own our culture, but you don't. This is English we're speaking. This is English. You had to learn my language. I don't have to learn yours. And I still have 2 other languages, Irish and German. Not to mention French. French are Celts. The French are Gauls. I want to learn French. I wanted to read Les Miserables in French, but I was impatient and read it in English in my early 20s. So, yeah, you only get to make one last stand, but you have to be ready to make it at any time. You have to be lucky every time. We only have to be lucky once. I only have to get lucky once. I only have to get lucky once, and I'm done. And I'll be able to continue. Look, I'm already lucky once because I'm capable of doing the art. I went skating today and didn't break my hand. That's all I care about. If anytime God has a problem with me, He can go knock me off my skateboard. Everything else is just circumstance. And even that, is just, that's going to happen. That is going to happen. Earlier I talked about the barrier to entry to riding a motorcycle. And the barrier to entry to sword fighting. You have to be relaxed. You have to let the mistakes happen. And one thing I mentioned earlier and I forgot to follow up on, I love watching the draw streams. VZA, I think, is one of them. They always have Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri. And they had a Jim Lee, he was doing some character, and he didn't like the way her hand was, like her whole arm. And I remember at this point it was shocking to me. And he just erased the whole arm, and it was almost done, like it was rendered, penciled. He said, I'll move it over here. And I was like, oh, that I have to, because that blew my mind. I remember when I was a kid watching one of the kids in 6th grade, 7th grade, draw a pirate, like from the boot up, like Kim Jong-il, where there's no structure. He didn't do a structure first. He just, boot, pants, hips, other leg, body, head, like that good, like every line connected to the other. And he was just a kid too, just like the rest of us. So the barrier to entry, when I saw Jim Lee erase that arm and just move it, the barrier to entry in martial arts, you have to relax, you have to get comfortable getting hit. Skateboards, you have to relax, you have to get comfortable falling off. Usagi Yojimbo getting trained by his master in sword fighting. His master would constantly sneak up on him and smack him with a stick. After a while, you learn it doesn't hurt that bad to get smacked with a stick. After a while, you learn to sense when the stick's coming. And after a while, you practice seeing how close you can let the stick get to you and not hit you. When you can get to that level of martial arts, that was when I knew I could fight anyone. Is when we're sparring and I'm watching punches sail past me and I'm just watching them. Not even responding, just, that's when you know. That's when you see those guys do it. You can watch them on YouTube. They'll give someone gloves and say, okay, I'll give you $100 if you can hit me. And they'll just dodge. That's where you need to get to. And when you can improv in your living room for a couple hours, just flow, like do martial arts improv, and not 40 minutes or a half an hour. And not be worried about the form or what's next. Just let your body, let the weight, the inertia, bring each strike and movement into the next. That's so much fun. And now I can do that on a skateboard. I'm so happy. My life could not get better. I could have money, I could have a family, I could have a wife and kids, and that'd be great. I also know that I would have fucked that up if I had gotten that before I got to here, because who I am now is different than who I was a few years ago. So I wouldn't trade who I am now for anything. You guys gotta get to this place where you found what it is that makes you happy and you can just do it forever, whether it makes you money or not. For my mom, it was singing in church. People don't often get a chance to sing in front of other people. You have to make that sort of opportunity happen, especially if you don't know that that's what you want to do. If I just drew, if you just draw at home and no one ever sees your art, I guess that doesn't matter. It would still make me happy, but I'm really glad I get to do this. The whole goal is to find other people, to find their stories. I'm really good at writing stories. A friend of mine has a story that I think I was able to help him with, It's good to be able to help people. It's ego. Yeah, it's an ego boost to help someone. It is. It's a selfish thing. But, if you can't be happy helping people, really, how could you be happy? So find the barrier to entry to whatever you want to do. Find a way over it that doesn't involve paying people. Find a way that involves unconscious competency. That means getting so good at it you can do it in your sleep. Dream about it. When you can dream about something, then you know you're doing good. So yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to keep this a little bit short tonight. I don't want to ramble on and say a bunch of nonsense. So love you guys. Talk to you next time. Bye.